Welcome to SkyZone's Ultimate Dodgeball. This video will go over the rules you need to know. Let's start with some setup. Ultimate Dodgeball is played on a trampoline court at SkyZone. There are two sides of the court for each team. The neutral zone, an orange mat, divides the court in half. You play with 5 balls, 2 per team, with a ball placed in the middle of the neutral zone at the start of the game. Your team will play with 5 players for a 5-on-5 match. You can have up to 8 players on your roster. Players must be 16 years or older to compete in the Ultimate Dodgeball Championships and local qualifiers. Matches are best 2 out of 3 games. Championship matches are best 3 out of 5.
Please have your team ready to play at your designated time or you will forfeit.
Each game is 3 minutes long or until an entire team is eliminated. You can substitute new players in when a catch is made or when a player has to step out in case of injury. If you wish to sub in a player, you can only have up to 5 players on the court and must notify the ref if you are subbing a player or not before the game. If you're subbing 2 players in, notify the ref the order. A tie is when the same number of players are left standing on each team when time runs out. It's settled with a sudden death among the remaining players. The team with the first player out loses.
If sudden death begins with less than 5 players on the court, only 3 balls, 1 for each team and 1 in the center of the neutral zone, will be used. There are at least 4 officials, 1 scorekeeper, 1 head official, and at least 2 assistant officials, but up to 6. All rulings by the officials are final.
Let's go over the game. The objective of the game is to eliminate the opposing team. This can be achieved through a combination of throwing, catching, and acrobatic awesomeness. A player is out when a live ball hits them, limb, or clothing, and the ball makes contact with the court or building. A catch gets the thrower out and brings in a teammate.
However, contact with loose hair is not considered an out.
The back mat.
The game starts with all 5 players of your team on the back mat, with at least 1 foot and 1 arm making contact with the back pad.
Once the refs blow the whistle to begin the game, all players must step off of the mat and onto the court. A player cannot stand on the back mat for the rest of the game, except to retrieve balls. When the game begins, both teams rush for the 5th ball on the neutral zone. The team with 3 or more balls then has burden. Within the next 10 seconds, you can throw any number of balls as long as your team no longer has the majority. If you don't, you forfeit your balls to the opposing team.
Burden ends the moment the balls cross the neutral zone, not when they are released from the thrower's hands. If the team has 3 balls, it's when a single ball crosses. If 4, then it's when 2 balls cross. In addition, the balls must advance beyond the first row after the neutral zone. If the balls bounce back to the first row after being thrown past it, there is no violation.
Any ball making contact with the court or building is considered dead. A dead ball can't get an opponent out. If a live ball hits your teammate and pops up, you can catch it to save your teammate, get the thrower out, and bring in a teammate. The ball is live until it makes contact with the court or building. If you touch the deflection and don't catch it, you are both out. You must catch the ball with your hands, arms, or limbs without assistance from clothing. If you catch using your clothes, you will be ruled out.
When caught in, you must enter from the side pad. You have 5 seconds of immunity while you enter the court. While immune, the player cannot catch a ball or interfere with the game. Any catches made will not count, but there will be no penalty. However, if they stick out their hand or make another movement to intentionally block a ball that would hit one of their active teammates, they will be called for interference. After 5 seconds, you are fair game.
You can block shots with the ball, but if you drop it, you are out. If the deflected shot hits you or a teammate, you and/or your teammate are out. Live balls colliding in midair become dead. The exception is when 2 balls are thrown by the same team and collide on the opponent's side of the court.
Simultaneous hits. If a player is hit by an opponent's ball and throws their ball before they are out, then the ball is live. Any struck players or catches will count, even if the player is out. This will be treated differently in one-on-one scenarios. When each team has a single player remaining on the court, the first player who has a ball hit them and becomes dead first is out and ends the game. Simultaneous hits does not take place here. If both players hit each other at the same time and their balls become dead at the same time, they are safe. taking your out. When out, you must raise your hand and leave the court immediately. You may pass a ball you are holding to a teammate.
Do not try to distract the other team or intentionally block any balls. If the refs catch you doing this, the captain of the opposing team will select an extra player to be ruled out.
Sky Zone team members must retrieve any stray balls that go out of the court, and the scorekeeper will roll the ball back onto the center of the court.
Players may not leave the court to retrieve them. The neutral zone is the dividing orange mat. Players may step on it to retrieve balls on the mat. No part of the body may break the plane or they are out. They cannot step on it to throw, but if their foot slips under while throwing or the momentum carries them onto it, it's okay. If momentum causes the player to break the plane of the neutral zone and the other half of the court, they are out. Suicides are not allowed. Now let's talk about a few miscellaneous rules.
Championship berths. Parks that sent a team that advanced to the final 8 at the championship in the previous year will receive invitations for their top 2 teams at this year's local qualifier. All other parks except for those 8 will receive 1 invitation for the team that wins their local qualifier. There are no timeouts, unless the head official calls for one in case of an injury to consult assistant officials about a play or has to pause the game.
Players will hear 2 short whistle blasts. Players cannot wear glasses unless they have protective sports goggles over them. All players must wear Sky Zone socks while playing. No gloves are allowed at any time. However, players can use sports tape if the sticky side is facing the skin. Players cannot pinch the ball in order to throw, but can pinch the ball to block. Headshots are discouraged, but are allowed. Don't be that headhunter because no one likes them. Please do not kick the ball across the court. You will be given a warning. Player injury substitutions. If a player is badly injured in game and can no longer continue, the next player in line to enter will be allowed to sub in. The injured player will no longer be allowed to play in the tournament that day. However, the injured player can rule himself out of the game or match and remain eligible to play. Master rule. If a play or situation should occur for which there is no written rule or understanding by the officials, then it will be assumed that the play didn't happen. This will be decided by the officials. The play will be considered dead and the play will reset.
Roster swaps. A UDC-invited team may add up to 2 players and remove up to 2 players between the end of local qualifiers and beginning of championships. The players must be new players who did not register on another team or park. UDC must be notified of the changes. Teams cannot exceed 8 players. Misconduct and disqualifications. Excessive cursing, vulgar arguments, and unsportsmanlike conduct will not be tolerated. Arguing with an official and attempting to influence a call on the game will be treated as unsportsmanlike. Misconduct will receive the following penalties. 1. Verbal warning. 2. Player out or opposing player out. 3. Starting down. 4. Forfeiture of the current game. 5. Forfeiture of the current match. 6. Disqualification of the team from the tournament.
That just about covers all the rules for playing Ultimate Dodgeball at Sky Zone trampoline parks. Play safe and good luck!